Democrats don't like tax cuts. They want to raise your taxes. They don't want to lower your taxes. They want to raise your taxes, and they want to spend money foolishly on things that we don't need in many cases.
I mean, how apocryphal is that? Guy's a great forecaster. That was late 2017, obviously 4 years ago. And here you have Democrats with this gigantic bill doing, oh, wait a minute, raising taxes. Just what President Trump said. Anyway, 4 years to the day, his historic Tax Cuts and Jobs Act were signed into law. Joining us now to discuss, my great pal, Kevin Hassett, former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. You know, Kevin, the guy had it right. He had it right politically, and he had it right in economic policy terms also, and he succeeded. I mean, it's important, with all this garbage coming out of the White House now and the Hill, it's important to remember what Trump did and what he said.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Although before I jump into that, I was watching the previous segment, and you're right. If Joe Manchin switched parties, they could actually accomplish a lot making these tax cuts permanent. And I was thinking that maybe the Republicans could do a better job recruiting him, because they offered to mow his lawn, but he lives in a houseboat. It doesn't make any sense. Let's offer to paint his boat for him or something.
It's very fun. I was trying to get
but
Mitch.
Anyway, if
I was
we
trying to move Mitch in that direction. I didn't have any luck. I just gave it a little try.
I could see that. But I just want to say that you really were one of the leading messengers during that time. And our message was that income inequality would go down. It did. That wage growth would be more than $4,000 per family. It was actually about $6,000. We said that poverty would go down. About 4 million people left poverty. We said that even like food stamp use would go down. It was down about 7 million folks came off of food stamps because the tax cuts stimulated the economy, caused capital formation to go up, and basically led to the booms that the best boom that we've seen since World War II. So the idea that people would want to repeal it just makes no sense to me. And we've been getting lectured all the time by left-wingers about how income inequality is the most important thing, and we adopt a policy that reduces it, and they just look the other way, right? So it's really just partisan politics. It's not economics that these guys are playing.
That's a terrific point, Kevin. Right. So we reduced inequality, we reduced poverty, and we helped the middle class. I mean, the middle class had the biggest increases in income and wealth and so forth. So basically, their utopian goals were met by Trump's tax cuts. I mean, why overturn something that fulfilled their mission?
Right, and the thing that bugs me, and I know that a lot of the guys who are supporting President Biden are old friends of ours, like Mark Zandi, Austin Goolsbee, but you got to get these guys on the show and say, okay, so what's your alternative theory? So things went great after the tax cuts, exactly the way that the White House economic team said they would, but you think it was something else. What was it? And they're not going to have an answer. So the Trump tax cuts worked, and even moderate Democrats like Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin recognize that. I think that basically all these years, Larry, that you and I have been doing the academic work and then spreading the message, basically set people up to be convinced. But then the economy really convinced them, because before the tax cuts were passed, we said, here's what's going to happen. And then after they were passed, things came in almost exactly as we said. And President Trump was the leader of that, but I think you were a leader too, Larry, because you, I think, have convinced a lot of the moderate Democrats that, hey, this stuff actually works.
Well, you're pitching hard, too. Look, Kevin, I mean, Austin Goolsbee is a nice fella. He's got very political nowadays. Jason Furman's a good guy. I'd rather spend the time talking to you. I just would. That's the theme of this show. I'd rather spend the time talking to you. And Kevin, one other point, which is very important, which you have raised in terms of the failures of this policy, the Biden policy. Those tax cuts, lower tax rates for large companies, small companies, individuals, and so forth, they spurred the supply side of the economy. So the supply curve moves up and out, and that is counter-inflationary. It's the exact opposite of what we're suffering today.
Right. And that's actually like one of the left-wing myths that you and I have talked a lot about for decades, is that Paul Volcker defeated inflation. So if there's inflation right now, it's not Joe Biden's fault, it's Jay Powell's fault. That's just false. Basically inflation comes about when demand runs ahead of supply. And so Biden is really jacking up demand. That's being fed by the Federal Reserve's stimulative monetary policy, but they're whacking the heck out of supply. And thank goodness that Joe Manchin was able, it looks like, to kill this bill, because if those tax hikes had gone through, the sky's the limit for how high inflation could go, because there'd be a huge supply contraction on top of all this stimulus. It's an economic experiment unlike anything I've ever seen.
One really good thing that Mitch McConnell said, Kevin, was that he gave a lot of credit to Kyrsten Sinema for stopping the turning over the Trump tax. I mean, she was there first. No corporate tax hike, no cap gains, no individual. So that's a little bit overlooked. I mean, in a way, she was the tough one on taxes. Joe Manchin was the tough one on spending. I mean, they make a good couple. They should both become Republicans.
They should. And one way to do it is to not try to mow a lawn outside a boat.
I know, but that's what Thune said. I meant it as a joke. I don't meant it didn't take. Not all Kudlow jokes take. Kevin Hassett, love. You and Christy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks for all the terrific things that you guys are doing, and you personally. And we'll have you back just as soon as we can.